photographer, came as an inspiration from the Opening Doors to the World Otterbein in the Arts programming. We're beginning our 4th year of this programming, and our gateway country for this year is Brazil. Don Austin, who during his sabbatical this year, he went out west and began to explore the relationship between the natural world, living and being in the natural world as part of it, and how that contributes to wellness and well-being. So his exhibition, Be Well Out Here, is in the Miller Gallery. And so that's over on Holland View Avenue, so I want to draw your attention to that. In the Fisher Gallery, we have Labor and Life, which is by Leonardo Carrizo. He's an Argentinian photographer who works in Ecuador and elsewhere, but the exhibition focuses on Ecuador and people laboring in the environment, but not in a laborious way, if that makes sense. It shows them actually living happily and in relationship with the environment for their fishing and as cowboys and along the coast and up in the Andean mountains. And it's really quite wonderful. So that also, the exhibition opening for that is October 4th. It's a Thursday as well, so you'll have a chance to meet Leonardo if you come for that. And today, of course, then we have this very special exhibition of The River is Life, with photographs taken from the Amazon and the people who have lived in the Amazon for many years. I just want to point your attention to the way that the exhibition is displayed. So you'll notice that at the center of it, or at the heart of it energetically, are photographs of the children. And this was something that really stood out to me when I looked at Alice's work. I was so struck by the liveliness and the hard work of the children. If we think that play is the work of children, they're working really hard, and they're living and learning how to grow into being adults in this environment. So I was very much struck by that and wanted to put that in the center and the heart of the show. And then the activities of the adults in ritual, in work, and really in just kind of overseeing what's happening as the protectors of the lives of the children. They are the children's future. Right? We think of the children as the future, but actually we are the future of our children if we think about how we live and behave now. So there's something of that to explore and just to kind of question. And I also want to introduce Professor Terry Hermsen, who's going to be introducing our reading for this evening. I want to say that, I don't know how many times we've collaborated now, a few times, 3 or 4 times. Something always magical happens when I work with Terry, and probably a lot of you know this as well. He's our resident poet. He also has great concerns about the environment. He's been working very hard with that. He also works creatively with the artwork that we have in the galleries. Every year, every semester, his students are in our galleries writing creatively to the artwork, about the artwork. And it completely enlivens this interdisciplinary experience that happens at Otterbein. So I am so grateful for you to be here on campus. You're never allowed to leave. While I'm here. And hopefully he'll be able to say a little bit about how the kind of accidental happenings that brought this reading together with this exhibition. This was not sort of planned out ahead of time in a really coherent way. Let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. It was all very kind of auspicious things coming together. So I want to introduce him, and I also want to say that the computer screen that's back here is showing a TED Talk. That's for another time, but be sure to look at it. It relates directly to the reading today, and it gives a kind of comprehensive survey, really, of what's going on with some of the indigenous people and their attempts to address climate change and to save their way of life. So, Terry, if you would take it over, that would be wonderful.
I'll be brief because I want to get to the photographs and show the book. But I sit here thinking that these photographs seem like maybe they're of the past, some way of life that's lost and gone. And I have to say, I hope this is also photographs of the future and of a regaining of connection to the world and to water to rivers. I once taught at Fairbanks High School outside of Plain City, where the river, the Big Darby Creek, was right across the street from the school. And I asked in the classrooms, how many of you who grew up in that area have actually ever walked in the Big Darby Creek or gone and played in it? It was like 1 or 2 kids who grew up right across, and the school never took them to that river to see. So in some ways, the photographs, I think, are an invitation to regain and move forward to knowing water and knowing our rivers and knowing our planet in a way that maybe we've been kind of oblivious to or ignorant of. Anyways, I feel lucky to be here. I'm going to introduce the translator of this wonderful book called Save the Planet, which has, it was just by chance that this exhibition was coming, and then I happened to know Juli Grawemeyer, this is her first book of translation. She's translated, I think, the first published. So let me just say a few words, a couple of words, just so you'll know who's going to be speaking to you. Juli Grawemeyer is a teacher. She's many more things than that, but she's a teacher. And she's taught French at Otterbein and at Denison. She's taught in the creative writing programs over at Denison with the young scholars, young writers. And she's now teaching middle school and high school French at Grandview. This is her first inaugural month, and she's still got time to come. And so she's a teacher. She's also a translator. She spends her mornings translating. She's been working in translation, and she's been a mentor of mine. She studied translation. When she translates, no simple task. She launches into it. She draws in a number of cohorts who give her response for the English side and the French side, and she works. If you could just see her papers, that she works on them with comments from somebody and comments from somebody else, and then it comes into the final version. But finally, Juli Grawemeyer is a listener. She listens to language. She listens to her students. The first time I met her, she was sitting outside my office by chance at a table conference with a student who had real trouble that semester. And instead of just saying, well, you got to get that grade, you got to get that grade, and she was having a conversation, and I felt I needed to know this person who listens so well. So that's who we hear today, reading from Save the Planet. Welcome, Juli.
Thank you so much for the invitation to come and be a part of this conversation. This is a book. On the cover, you will see a tribal chief. It says Chief Alberto. He is in the tent top, if I'm not mistaken, that's featured in the back. When I walked in this room today, I was overcome with this feeling of familiarity. I walked in and I'm looking at these images, and they feel very familiar because for a year I spent reading the French original text. It appeared in French first. And as I was reading and translating very closely, these were the images that I would see. So it's this very magical, this very eerie kind of feeling. Wow, this is, you read a book and you have the vision of what's happening, and here it is, and you're all here to share it with me, which is so wonderful. So I'm very pleased to meet Elise and to meet all of you. This book came to be because this indigenous leader, Chief Almir, wanted to communicate a message about the environment and about the vitality of the rainforest. And so to learn how his tribe could communicate this message, he sent some representatives to France, to the Avignon Theater Festival. And so that's how it came into my hands, because I'm a translator and a cross-cultural communication specialist in Francophone matters. So this Frenchwoman, Corinne Semblin, decided to co-write the biography with the man himself, with Chief Almir. And so it came out in France, and then here through a press in Arizona, it's coming into the English. So I thought I would read a paragraph to situate us in the river, to kind of bring a reality check about what's happening there as it's related in this book. And those of you who speak Portuguese, our musician and our guest, please forgive me for my pronunciation. The crown jewel of the 18 power plants planned in the Amazonian basin of the Araguaia and the Tocantins River is the construction of the Belo Monte plant on the great bend of the Xingu River, which is the river we're looking at here today. Construction began in 2011, and it was designed to become the third largest dam in the world, producing 10% of Brazil's electricity needs. For this, 231 square miles of land and a part of a nearby national park will be flooded, of which 400 square kilometers or 154 square miles are primary forest. This is an ecological catastrophe that would lead to the expulsion of more than 15,000 Indians, of which the most directly affected will be the Kayapo Indians, the Arauete Indians, the Arara Indians, the Kiseche Indians, and the Jurunya Indians. So that kind of situates us in the urgency of this problem. This chief is working in this area of Brazil, in the state of Rondônia. And some more background here to situate you in the book. Today, Brazil encompasses 654 indigenous territories that make up 15% of its total surface area. Within these territories is the one belonging to the Paiter Surui, whose ancestral name is Paiter, meaning the true people, we ourselves. The first white contact with this long isolated Amazonian people occurred with representatives of Brazilian authorities in 1969. So you can imagine this chief is a little older than I am. He's probably around 40. White contact happened just shortly before he was born, and so his connection to his family, to his grandfather, is specifically related to what it was like before white contact happened. So I'll read for you today a passage about what it's like to walk around with his grandfather. And I feel to a certain extent like I got to walk around with him as I worked closely in translation. Those of you who are linguists know that it takes a lot and really get in there. So he's a young boy and he's walking with, at this point it's his father. I had just ducked under the battle arrows made by my father when he started doing a kind of dance. So they're walking through the forest. Watch my dance closely, he told me. The surucucu is the most dangerous snake in our rainforest, and I am acting out a fight with him. It is a fight to the death, and I am pretending that I am winning. This way I am warning him that he better not show up. I watched Marimak, his father, do the whole dance. His delicate muscles rolled beneath his skin with the flexibility of a jaguar. He kept his face fully concentrated on the battle with his invisible enemy. The fine line tattooed in a half moon from one ear to the other, the mark of our tribe, betrayed none of his emotions. The red macaw feather, threaded through the base of his nose, did not quiver. It was beautiful. He had barely completed the ritual, but I couldn't help asking him if this meant that he could truly walk barefoot in the rainforest without fear of getting bitten by a snake. Learn how to do this dance, he replied, jutting his chin towards his left calf, and listened closely to what I'm going to tell you. 3 years before you were born, I was 40 years old, and I was bitten by a cascabel. As you know, they are extremely dangerous snakes, and I was unconscious for an entire day. Even though the Wawa, the spiritual advisors, were able to treat the bite with the plants of the rainforest, I was unable to walk for 6 months. I had plenty of time to reflect on why this had happened to me. The answer came to me in a dream. I was already in the kingdom of the dead, in Gorokoi. According to our origin story, souls cross a path riddled with obstacles. On their way, the souls might be attacked by a giant vulture, might be crushed by rocks, smothered in the excrement of a giant lizard, or scared away by the presence of certain creatures with enormous genitals. The bravest souls can confront these dangers and arrive peacefully at their eternal home, but in order to one day complete these voyages in the best conditions, the living must never pronounce the name of the deceased, or else the dead will come back to haunt them. As for cowardly souls, or those who have committed incest, they die a second time and go to the village of useless souls. So these stories continue, explaining the rituals, very intimate details of how their tribe works. There's another passage I want to read that's related to Chief Almir as he grows up and he becomes a leader for his tribe and for the indigenous people of the Amazon. He decides to try to partner with Google to help the problem of deforestation, to help the rapid development that's happening. So I'll read a section for you here that gives you an idea of kind of what his life is like. Before I do that, I'll show you a photo that appears in the book. You can see kind of blending into the leaves. He's a very natural kind of appearance, but then we see a lion in the middle of the forest. At this point, as a leader, he's become targeted by people headhunters who want him dead. The rubber plantations, the people who want to cultivate these resources and exploit them don't want him around because, of course, he's saying, no, we need to leave the land as it is and protect it. And they say, no, we want to use it to make this money to expand. So at many points, he leaves Rondônia, he leaves Brazil to be in exile. So at this point, he's in California. It was 2007 and I had just arrived in California, where I had been invited to give a talk to promote our cause. I had brought with me the cultural map of our territory, thinking that it would make the problem at hand more concrete in the eyes of these people. I didn't know at the time exactly how useful this cultural map would be. One day I left with my friend Vasco van Roosmalen into Silicon Valley. He had left his position as the director of the Amazon Conservation Team in order to run the organization ECAM. This is the conservation team of Amazon. We were passing right in front of Google headquarters. As I told you, I had been using Google's search engine to get in contact with potential partners to help save the rainforest. But just before being evacuated, I also connected to Google Earth. So it's changed slightly now, but those of you, does anyone remember Google Earth and what you could do? You can kind of look down right where you're living, right up to your address and see what it looks like. It was the first time I had used it, you see, and people said that I had done exactly what everyone else did. I spun the world map and zoomed straight onto our territory. But instead of finding our villages, I found a kind of green oasis-marked, uninhabited region. Our region was roughly the shape of a trapezoid in the middle of a yellow and gray sea, representing deforested land and farms. I immediately thought that Google Earth could be a tremendous tool to help us monitor our forest. They had nevertheless omitted one essential thing, our very existence. While we were standing outside of Google headquarters, I asked Vasco to schedule us a meeting. Shouldn't we inform them that an entire people is living in their, quote, uninhabited region? Couldn't they also help us in some way? Vasco tried to dissuade me. All they are going to do is help you right out the door. I insisted. Something told me that it would be good for us. Vasco ended up giving in, but he wanted to call them instead. Just before dialing Google's number, he turned to me and said, "You are completely crazy." Of all the times I had heard this time I thought he might be right. After a few rings that seemed to last an eternity, someone picked up and Vasco began our story. I didn't understand what he was saying since I don't speak English, but I watched a smile creep little by little onto his face. Did it work? "Don't start celebrating just yet," he said as he hung up. All I got was an interview. Just like I thought. With whom? With the director of Google Earth Outreach, the humanitarian branch of Google. Once more, my face lit up. Vasco scowled. We got this meeting because I really insisted, but do not get your hopes up. The next day, after waiting for more than an hour, although we had arrived very early, the door to Rebecca Moore's office opened. I was wearing my coca, a headdress of black eagle feathers with white tips that we use for important meetings. Looks like the one on the cover of this book. After having briefly examined my headdress, Rebecca Moore spoke. Vasco turned to me, looking worried. "She only has 30 minutes to talk to us. That isn't enough time, is it? I have to translate everything." I thought for a few seconds. "I am ready." He nodded. I took a deep breath and I dove in. According to a report of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, Brazil has lost 20% of its rainforest over the last 10 years. This has been essentially due to intensive farming, large-scale soybean production, and wood consumption by a population that is ever growing. If we allow this trend to accelerate, what will be left of the grand Amazon rainforest in 50 years? We, the Paiter Surui people, began defending the rainforest, first with our bows and arrows, and next with pencils and paper. Now we have computers and solutions to propose to you. Will you take the time to hear them? The end of the 30 minutes drew near, but Rebecca Moore asked me to go on. I took on more still listening, but she had called in the heads of other departments. Among them was John Hankey, to whom she introduced me. He's the creator of the software Keyhole, which was bought in 2004 by Google and renamed, perhaps you guessed it, Google Earth. I was happy to meet him, as you can imagine, and I congratulated him before asking him the question that would not leave me alone. And in French, would not leave me alone. It's not exactly how they put it. La question qui me hantait, it was haunting me, that wouldn't let me rest. I asked him, why does our land appear uninhabited when you zoom in using Google Earth and Google Maps? When you point to the city of Tacual that is right next to us, you see videos, photos, and museums. Isn't it also important that when zooming in on our land, that you see that an entire people has lived there for generations with our traditions and culture, and that we are struggling to stay alive? The room fell silent for several long moments. Then she spoke words that reassured me. We must fix this error. So the rest of the chapter explains his partnership with Google, what they were able to accomplish, and how they developed a carbon credit program. So if you're interested, there are postcards in the back that you can take that have information, and that TED Talk, again, is highly connected to it. So thank you for being here.
So much. Thank you. That's just lovely. So we're so fortunate to have this reading and to actually have a translator here. My only regret is that Chief Almir is not here himself. That would be lovely, but maybe the next time we're thinking about it. So now we have the pleasure of introducing Elisa Kohler, who is the photographer and I want to say adventure. She has an adventurous spirit, but it's really more than that. I think, if I may say, what I've learned since talking to her and to hearing her speak to the students is that she loves people. She loves life, and she loves engaging with human beings. And it's that which allows what you see in the room. So if you would please come and speak to us about your show and about your photography.
Very much for the invitation. I'm not an English speaker, I'm really a Brazilian person, but I'll try to explain it. I'm very emotional and glad and happy to be here. Janice invited me without knowing who I am by my pictures, and my story is about her story is in another. This book is written in Rondônia, and I've been traveling for more than 10 years, 15 years in Xingu River by the Belo Monte. Yeah, it's been a catastrophe. But I was there before the construction, during, and now they just finished it. And these people that you see here all live by the river, louder. They all live by the river, and with the river, in the river, and their lives is the Xingu River. And I met them in 2005, and never more left from these territories. In Brazil, we have about 40,000 Indians already living in more than 19 different linguistic speaking, 170 different languages we have in Brazil. And these people that I'm showing here are the people Ararete, Assurini, Kayapó, and Paracanã. And I have two pictures from Yauac team that they live in a Parque Indígena do Xingu. It's a protected territory. And what I'm showing here is they're very happy, very connected with the nature, and they're free, and the kids are free forever. The kids own the planet. They can do whatever they want. They hunt, they fish, they cook. This little boy was fishing for his dinner when he showed me, "What are you doing there?" I just finished my dinner. And this boy, I was leaving and I was saying bye-bye, like I stay in my house, and the butterflies by the river, and the rain, and the fruits they eat, what they eat, and by the water, how they play all day in the water, and they learn how to swim, imitating the fishes. They look at the fishes swimming, they jump and dive and look, they swim like the fishes. They pretend. They don't write, they don't read, they speak another languages. And these people were discovered. We contacted them 40 years ago, so they are the three newest people that Brazil discovered, Assurini, Paracanã, and Araueté. And they are in the route of Belo Monte. And they just discover gold in their territory, so they are committing ethnocide with these people. So we should protect them. I don't know why and how, but this is very sad. They are very young people. Each group, activity group, has about 400, 200 people in each. Araueté has about 400. Assurini has about 200 people only. Caiapó has more, 1,000, 1,200. Paracanã has 450. It's very few people. Population is very, very few. And they're not strong because they get sick very easily. If we have cough, they get cough. And if we have any epidemic or sickness that they have never had, they get sick. They cannot have sugar, and we are giving sugar to them, because their organism is completely different. They cannot drink alcohol because they really get drunk. They get with diabetes very easily. So we should do something to protect them, because they are what you see. They are happy, they are beautiful, they are ingenuous. They don't know what's going on outside. They are very far from the city. The closest city is Altamira, is the city where they did the barragem em Belo Monte, e São Félix do Xingu, in the middle of the river. And to get to this city, they have to go by boat, 8 hours, 10 hours by boat in a very dangerous river, because Xingu River has lots of waterfalls and stones, so sometimes, many times the boat float and they die because they don't know how to swim very well. Even the Araueté. And this first, they were discovered when they were doing the Trans-Amazonica Road, and they were pushed to be in front of Xingu River, but they used not live in front of the river. So when they first got there, they didn't know even how to swim. So this is a history. This is a very nice way that Janice did. She's telling her story. I'm so glad that she showed the kids, because the kids are the lovers things, the people, the pure, the essential, I don't know how to say in English, but a essência do ser humano, I say.
They are so naive in terms of the world that is
they are
far
the
from
human being by the essence, with nothing. They have no interest. They are what they are. They are what we are when we have nothing or learn nothing. They are poor, very poor people and poor kids. So this is what is my passion, the essência do ser. What the human being is without nothing from outside. It's what they are. We don't know for how long we're going to stay here. And that's it. But it's beautiful. It's happy. It's a contrast. They are there, but we know that something very dangerous is coming soon, very soon. And nobody's doing nothing to help them. I wrote an article in the Guardian newspaper, 10 pages, and when the writer did what I said they are committing ethnocide and nobody's doing nothing in Brazil. It's better to take this outside of Brazil to people, everybody's in the planet know what's going on. And then the newspaper went to the Belo Monte people, and they agreed, yes, ethnocide, we are doing. The government said, yes, we are doing ethnocide. And the FUNAI, the Fundação Nacional do Índio, the foundation that say that protects the Indians, never answered. So they know what they are doing. And nobody's doing anything. This is sad. I did an exposition in Peru, in Lima, about the river's life, but just about this newspaper that they gave me this space to tell, and it was great. And we're trying to do something, but I brought the seed here for you to know what's going on with the people that live in this planet, and they should have a liberty to be what they are without destruction, because people want more and more and more. And this Belo Monte is not one barragem. How do you say barragem? Dam. They are going to construct more 7 up. They are going to finish with the river. Finish. It's full of fishes and full of nature, full of animals hunting. It's a paradise that most of the people don't know because it's really hot. Malaria, yellow fever, mosquitoes, and all the animals, dangerous. But it's a place in the earth that have to be protected. We breathe from there. This is our pulmão. So that's it. I don't know, it's difficult for me to translate in English, but that's it. What I say is in the pictures. Welcome and see, and if you want to ask, and if you want to see, I would be pleasure to say and answer all the questions if you want. Okay, thank you very much.